welcome to the Metals Investment Forum. It's my great pleasure to introduce Alex, VP of Exploration of Silver47. Welcome, Alex.
Thanks for having me.
All right, good. I mean, you guys had some fantastic results last year. So tell us what you have and what excites you and what's your plan for this year?
Well, our best result last year was DC 24106, which was an infill step-out hole right in the center of the Dry Creek resource zone. We intersected 22 meters, about 10% zinc equivalency, which was a pretty phenomenal intercept. It's within the existing resource pit shell, but it did give us continuity on the high-grade subsurface historic results and gives us an opportunity to keep walking down dip and to the west along strike to continue to expand and upgrade the existing resource. We're encouraged with expansion potential both at Dry Creek and the West Tundra Flats zones. The drilling at West Tundra Flats, we intercepted a 22-meter interval where we were twinning a historic hole that only had 7 meters of economic grade. So we're seeing that with the modern drilling techniques that we're using, we're improving our grade recovery, our core recovery, which is improving our grade results and gives us potential to upgrade the historic resource significantly simply by infilling with modern drilling techniques.
Wow, excellent. So you think mostly it's historically you get a better recovery from the modern drilling. How about testing? Any better or just...
The grades are showing much better as well. The hole at Dry Creek recovered 2.5 meters of 15 grams per ton gold, which is the highest economic recoverable width of gold in the system. We've seen single intervals of sub-meter high-grade gold, but we haven't seen something that's reaching the mineable width of 2.5 to 3 meters. So we are seeing these high-grade precious metals coming back at higher grades than the historic drilling in both West Tundra Flats and Dry Creek.
Wow, excellent, excellent. So in general, what kind of percentage revenue is from zinc and from gold and then silver you see so far?
The precious metals are providing about 30%.
30%,
the zinc is the driver of the resource itself, but we are seeing a very heavy load of precious metals incorporated. And one thing to keep in mind is that zinc is a critical mineral on both the U.S. and Canadian lists, so it's not something to ignore.
Right, excellent. Yeah. So how about other critical metal? Do you see any, or
we're seeing? Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of historical data on the critical minerals. They just weren't assayed for in the 70s, 80s, into the 90s. Right. The more recent drilling in 2018 and 2021, we have seen a bit of antimony popping up. It's uncertain what the recoverable grade will be, but we intend to do some metallurgical testing with our infill and expansion drilling this year. A fair portion of the core will go for metallurgical testing so we can see what sort of recovery we can get with the antimony. And we are seeing some blips with both gallium as well as several of the other critical minerals. Rubidium, I believe, is popping up as well. But we don't have enough data to say we have a resource of these critical minerals aside from zinc. But there is potential and opportunity there. It just has not been fully looked at.
Okay, good. So tell us what's the resource expansion opportunity you see this year?
I think conservatively, with the existing data, the historical data, we have about 2 million tons of resource that can be upgraded from exploration to an inferred block just based on the historical data. The drilling density needs to be improved to bring those blocks up to a recoverable resource block. And that's what we already have with the historical data. The new drilling we intend to do at both West Tundra Flats and Dry Creek should add significant tonnage. We have a gap in the center of Dry Creek that just had not been drilled with proper density for the resource modeling to accept that into the block model. So we have an opportunity to add probably 2 to 4 million tons with a fair amount of infill drilling, maybe 5,000-6,000 meters of infill drilling. We look to add 2 to 5 million tons this year.
Wow, excellent. And then you basically hinted that the modern drilling potentially have a better grade.
Yeah, with the improved recovery we're seeing, there is potential to expand. If we can take those historic resource widths from 7 meters to 20 meters across the West Tundra Flats resource zone, it's a significant upgrade.
Wow, excellent. So not only you're going to bring more tonnage in, maybe better grade and more, economical mineable.
Yeah. That's what we've been seeing so far with the drilling, and we have had a limited amount of drilling. We did 2 holes at West Tundra Flats, 3 holes at Dry Creek, and in all 5 of those holes, we saw improvement on the historical drilling in both grade and interval width.
Oh, excellent. Well, very good. So tell us what's like the blue sky you see potential. I know. So the first let's get this first, and I have other questions for you.
I think the blue sky potential is probably a 50 million ton resource, but that would require us to develop some of our outlying exploration targets. We have 620 square kilometers, 940 claims, and we have a 60-kilometer wide trend of prospective geology. And it's been very underexplored. I mean, there have been first passes, boots on the ground, geochemical sampling, some geophysics. There's not been enough time of geologists walking this property and mapping it and sampling it to truly unlock how much potential there is there. We have 15 exploration targets. We rank them based on how much work has been done, what quality of samples. We have a couple of drill pads ready to go. We have a drill pad set up right now at Galleon. That's probably a first hole we'll drill this year. Historic grab samples there were 1,200 grams per ton silver.
Wow.
It hasn't been,
1,200
and it has
grams.
not been drill tested.
Has not been
Yeah,
never drilled before.
Never drilled. Not with a proper drill rig. No,
Okay.
They've had some trenching work done. There's been a lot of sampling there. This is the 80s. The old trenches have collapsed in. Gary and I walked it out last year, and we found some good hand samples, but we couldn't locate the high grade zone. It was buried under the collapsed trench, probably under about 2 meters of broken rubble. So pretty high priority for us to get in there and drill that out. But we have several of the targets scattered around. But again, we have 60 kilometers of width of property to cover, and there just hasn't been enough time of people sampling and prospecting to work these targets up to drill ready. So to really grow this project, we need to spend some time hiking it out and collecting samples and building up these drill targets. Because I think with VMS systems, the linear trends, once you find that horizon, you can walk that out for tens of kilometers long strike length. It's just a matter of finding those horizons and then drilling them.
Yeah. Wow, excellent. Looks like a huge system.
Yes.
So that's another thinking. What as investor wondering, what strategically do you plan to fund? Major. I mean, it seems like maybe a major will be interested to doing this kind of. How far do you want to bring yourself to, or then find a partner, or vice versa, or maybe you drill it out and being taken over by a major?
I think we can realistically get this resource to 25 million tons, and I think once we hit that mark, I think we'll start getting a lot of interest from larger potential partnerships. It's just a matter of, again, working up some of these targets. They've never been drill tested. All of the drilling has been done at Dry Creek, West Tundra Flats, and some scattered exploration targets, but not a real concerted effort, and nobody's really taken a swing at testing some of the deeper potential targets there. And there's a lot of material to unlock there. It's just going to take the right amount of backing and the right amount of time to get in there and work up some of these targets and add them into the resource zones. So I think with Dry Creek and West Tundra Flats, we have a viable, developable resource. But I think if we can add 2 or 3 more of these exploration targets, we have a real system growth there.
Wow, good, excellent. Well, I look at your drill result was just fantastic. And I think it's and then historically they was previously owned by another company, so they went under. So you got it at a really good price. Okay.
Yeah, we did, and it seemed like their later stage exploration was more focused on not necessarily the silver and base metal potential there, but that's our main focus. We really think that this system is a zinc forward and silver backed system. Yeah.
Good. And then so some zinc and then 30% precious metal.
And very much silver forward with the precious metals there. The gold association is, most of the intervals will carry 2 to 4 grams of gold and several hundred grams per ton silver. So it is very much a silver zinc system.
Okay, great. Finally, have you done any metallurgical study yet, or what's the plan?
There was a metallurgical study done in the 90s based on the drilling when they were sort of developing the resource back then. There has been no modern metallurgical work done. Our recoveries were pretty good, 70s to 90%. And I think, one of our main focuses for this year is to send a fair amount of our core off for metallurgical testing, both at West Tundra Flats and Dry Creek.
Okay, great. So hopefully by the end of the year, people will have a good idea what side of deposit, what kind of recovery, and then have a good understanding of deposit.
Yeah, very much so. And I think our position in Alaska helps us a lot as well. We're in state-managed lands. We have no federal jurisdictions. We have no First Nations interest. It's one department that we deal with, the Alaska Department of Natural Resources, and they're very encouraging for moving our project forward.
Okay, great. Thank you, Alex. Looking forward to hear more from you.
Yeah, I'm excited to get out there and get working.